Alright, hello everybody. Hello, and welcome. How you doing? I am Darkside Phil. Today is Saturday, September 24th, 2016. Hopefully you're doing well. On Saturday, many people have, off from things like work or school. On the flip side, some people only work on the weekend. So I'm not sure what you're doing, but no matter where you are and what you're doing, I welcome you to today's gameplay stream. And thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Today is the big premiere of Banjo Kazooie HD. And you might say, whoa, Banjo Kazooie? Like, why on earth is Phil playing this game? Well, the story goes that back in August, during a relatively slow gaming month, I had a Patreon goal going on. Patreon, where obviously, if you like the streaming that I do and the on-demand videos that I do, you can give monthly pledges in order to allow me to continue to do this as a job full-time. And I give back. You know, if we hit a certain goal level or whatever, we do a celebratory event. And last month, we hit my funding level for the month, my goal that I had set up. And I decided that we would do something a little different. Instead of just doing something like a marathon, where I only play a game for, say, 6 to 7 hours, I said, instead of that, why don't we do something a little different? Why don't I do a promised full playthrough of a game? Okay? Because it seemed to me that the feedback that I was getting from previous marathon events that I had done as patron goals was that people wanted to see more of the game. You know, it was great to see those marathons happen, but then if the game didn't continue as a full playthrough, or if you had to wait for that full playthrough to continue, it would be pretty frustrating. And I understand that. In particular, there was one game earlier this year. Actually, I believe it was late last year, right? It was the Conker's Bad Fur Day HD marathon that I did. And I marathoned the game and got through the first half of it, including the Great Mighty Pooh boss fight and this really difficult race and all this stuff going on. And I enjoyed it, even though it was very difficult and frustrating. I did enjoy the game. And then I stopped playing it, and people were like, well, are you ever going to go back to it? What's the deal? And I was like, well, I'm busy with new releases. There's new games out and all this. And unfortunately, I don't have time to really go back to it. So it ended up being like a future event where I ended up finishing the game, and people were pretty frustrated with that they had to wait. So for August, directly feeding off of the responses of my viewers in the past, I said, instead of just doing a marathon event, let's do a full playthrough. Let me promise that I will do a full playthrough of a game that wins a poll during the month of August. So here's what happened. Patrons pledged all month. We hit the goal. And then for the first few weeks of September, the patrons voted on 3 different games. The nominees were Jak 3 HD from the Jak 3 collection on PlayStation 3 a few years back. Banjo Kazooie HD from the Rare Replay collection. Okay. And Crash Bandicoot 3 Warped. Now, the voting was interesting to me. I actually thought, I'll be honest with everyone, I thought people were going to want to see me play Crash 3. I thought that was going to be like the definitive winner. Because I've played Crash 1 and 2 last year. And they were both pretty entertaining playthroughs. Let's be honest here. They were pretty good. For the rage, for the challenge level, they were, pretty entertaining in my opinion. And I thought for sure people would vote in. But I guess the rationale that people used was that there is going to be supposedly a Crash collection coming out in a year or two. It's not guaranteed when it's coming out, but supposedly it's supposed to come out, sooner rather than later. And I guess what people are saying is, well, if we're going to see Phil play Crash 3, just have him buy that collection and play Crash 3 in that collection rather than play the classic one. Now, I don't know if I necessarily agree with that. Simply because I've already played Crash 1 and 2. And I might end up, buying this collection just to play 3, which I don't know, then again, how expensive will it be? I don't know. I guess we'll see. But So I don't know what happened, but, people kind of made this rationale and did not vote for Crash. So it was really the voting for most of the poll was between Jak 3 and Banjo Kazooie. Now, I thought Jak 3 might win. Because people, well, I say people. Really what I mean is the Ariad Lord. The Ariad Lord, who, has been a co-op partner in many playthroughs of mine over the years. And, someone who I used to hang out with him and do stuff with him when I lived on the East Coast. I don't anymore, so that's impossible. But I digress. One of his favorite game series of all time is the Jak and Daxter series, and actually the copy of the Jak 3 collection that I have is one that he gave me. He lent it to me and said, I hope that you play all these games in the future. And I ended up playing 1 and 2, but I never got around to 3. So I thought, gee, if I put this in a poll, and people have been asking for it for years, maybe it'll win. And it didn't. It's once again didn't. Jak 3 never wins. I put it in like 3 different polls. The damn thing never wins a poll. So, why do I think that Banjo Kazooie won? Well, 2 reasons. Number 1, because the developers of this game are making a new game called Yooka-Laylee. It's supposed to be a very similar style of game. It's a throwback kind of 3D platformer. And it's supposedly coming out either next year or sooner rather than later. Not a guaranteed release date yet. But the rumor is that it may be out sometime next year. And I think that people maybe wanted to see me play this game first so that I have the background. So when I play Yooka-Laylee, I can say, wow, this does really feel like Banjo in this way and this way. Or I can directly compare the two. It's kind of like, earlier this year I played Mafia 2. So that I could prepare myself for Mafia 3 next month. And it makes sense. Now I have a background in the game. I understand what kind of a game it is. And it makes sense. It makes sense. So, that's number 1. And then number 2, I think the reason that Banjo won the polling is because I've actually heard that people actually think that this game is better than Mario 64. And that kind of blows my mind because, I was obviously an avid gamer during the time period when the Nintendo 64 was a new console. And I had played Mario 64. And at the time, even though the game had some issues, had some control and camera issues, that game was superb. Like, really good. And I am very surprised that people are actually saying there was a platformer on the same console that was better. That kind of blows my mind. So, if it is, it is. Great. I mean, I think I'm in for a treat then. Because I really liked Mario 64 back in the day. So, if this game is better, yeah. I mean, this will be right up my alley. And I'm happy about that. Okay? Alright, so, let me explain what's going to happen, because I want everyone to be in the clear and in the know about what's happening here, rather than be, oh no, I'm in the dark, Phil played it today, but then what's happening after. So right now I'm playing Banjo Kazooie on stream. This is going to be about a 3-hour gameplay stream, because I started late, because my stupid Xbox One needed a million updates, which frustrates me, because I turned on the Xbox One earlier this week twice, in order to see if either the Rare Replay Collection or the console needed an update, and it needed nothing. So pretty stupid, in my opinion, that I guess sometime midweek there was a console update that was loaded into this thing or whatever. And it took over 30 minutes to install this update, which is dumb as hell. When I do a console update for PS4, it takes me not even 5 minutes. Xbox One takes over 30. Yeah. Just another way that Microsoft lags behind this console generation, in my opinion, sadly. But anyway, I'm going to be doing about 3 hours of gameplay on this stream, okay? Now, depending on how this goes, I may do another session later tonight. I don't know if it'll be online or offline. I think really what it'll be dependent on is how well received this session is. If I'm playing the game, people are really liking it, and there's people showing up for the stream. Right now, it's a good start. We've got over 300 people and growing. But I had a late start, so I get the feeling some people didn't show up because it didn't start on time, okay? If this ends up being a good stream, then maybe later tonight I'll stream again, alright? If I really like the game, then I'll probably stream it again later tonight. If we don't get so good attendance or whatever, I may still do more later tonight, but not stream it, I don't know. Or if the game's just alright, in my opinion, or maybe if it has a slow start, then maybe I'll do something different tonight. And I have a few things in my head that I could work on. We'll see. Now, this is going to be a full playthrough, meaning I am going to play this game from start to finish. A few things I want to cover. First of all, I'm not guaranteeing you that I'm going to get every single collectible, get every single hidden item, alright? Especially because, you know, unlike a game like Crash, let's talk a little bit about Crash Bandicoot. The items were pretty easy to find in most cases. The only super secret ones people kind of helped me get, but they were all reasonable. It was just that they were very grueling. It was difficult to get them. If this game, I've actually heard they're just well hidden. So, no, I'm not going to be using a walkthrough or whatever to find every single collectible or whatever while I'm playing. And because of that, I can't guarantee that I'm going to do a full completionist run or anything like that, alright? But I am going to play the game from start to finish. I've heard the end of the game, people are actually saying right now that it's really difficult at the end of the game. That it's pretty easy at the beginning, and then near the end it gets very challenging. So I guess we'll see firsthand, right? But I am going to be beating it. Oh, excuse me. Oh my god. I'm exploding. You know what? Good to get this out now before I start playing. So anyway, yeah, I am going to be playing the full game. However, I am going to be playing it over the course of, say, the next week to 2 weeks, meaning you may not see this as the main focus every single day. I will be playing it pretty frequently, but it's not going to be every day the mainstream. You know what I mean? Now, I don't know how long the game is either, alright? I don't. I don't know if it's, say, going to take 3 sessions, if it's going to take 5 sessions, if it's going to take 7 sessions. I haven't heard anyone tell me how long this game is and how long it takes to beat. So, it is what it is. It could be long or not. I have time. The bottom line is I actually have time. The next new release, that's like a high-profile new release that I'm really counting on playing, is Mafia 3, which it launches on October 7th. So I have between now and the 7th, so that's what, 13 days to really focus on beating this game. So that's good, right? That's good. And it means that I can play it at my own pace and not have to rush through it and not be like, oh god, it's going to take me a million years to beat it or whatever. You know what I mean? I can play it and you know, several sessions and not have to worry. Now, just to give you some perspective, here's what's going on the next few days. Tomorrow, there's a strong possibility that myself, Koruchado, the Arid Lord, and P-Dog will be reuniting one final time to finish off the Call of Duty Black Ops 3 Zombies Revelation DLC, which I played a couple weeks back, but when I played it, it was launch day. We had technical difficulties and the Arid Lord couldn't join us, but now those are hashed out. And we want to finish the Easter egg. When we played it, we didn't even know about the Easter egg or how to do it, and our game glitched out and would not allow us to do it, to finish it. So we would like to actually do that as like a last hurrah, being that I bought the season pass of Black Ops 3 just for the sole purpose of playing the zombie DLC. I would like to see how this all ties in and ends. Supposedly, it actually is the end of all of these zombie maps for the Black Ops franchise, and also World at War. And it really does have like a definitive ending. So I'd maybe like to do that tomorrow. It's not set in stone. I'm actually waiting on a final answer. By the end of today, I should have an answer on if that's going to be tomorrow. Alright? Now, if it's not, if it doesn't come together, then tomorrow I want to do a session of Overwatch. Because I haven't played Overwatch in weeks. It's been almost a month, actually. You know what I mean? And I love the game. I love to play it. And I definitely want to play it again. So, that might be tomorrow. So, tomorrow is either Zombies or Overwatch. We'll see. Okay? Monday is up in the air. Alright? And the reason Monday is up in the air is because it's going to depend on Sunday. I mean, Sunday, if I played Overwatch, obviously Monday will not be Overwatch. You know what I mean? Monday could be Overwatch. It could not be. I'm not sure. It could be more Banjo. It's all kind of a little bit up in the air. And then on Tuesday, FYI... the new Hitman DLC is coming out, the new Hitman episode, and I'm going to be doing that on my gameplay stream on Tuesday is Hitman. So, really what we're talking about here is you're going to be a few days away where I probably won't be playing Banjo, but it will resume this week, and it will be kind of the main focus of my gameplay streaming later on this week, alright? Now, in addition to Banjo, later this week, I also want to do something different. And I'm probably going to put it in the hands of the viewers so that you know, or that you can kind of control it. And what I mean by it is this. I have a few ideas in mind for things that I can do, because like I said, I really don't have a new release coming out till Mafia 3 October 7th. So I'm going to need something else to do, right? So here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that I can either do something new, but I don't want it to get into something too long, okay? And what I'm thinking is, like, a game like XCOM 2 probably wouldn't make sense, because it's going to be far too long and drawn out, you know what I mean? But maybe I could do something like the new Sonic game. There's a new Sonic Boom game coming out called, like, Fire and Ice or something like that, right? Maybe I'll play that. Or there is a Forza game coming out this week. And I've never played a Forza game before. Forza Horizons 3 or something like that. I'm seeing ads for it all over television. Now, I don't know much about it, besides it's a driving game. And I haven't played a racing or driving game in a million years. It's been like 3 years or more. So maybe this would be a cool time for me to do something different and play that this week. I don't know. Or, here's the other thing that I'm kind of considering. Doing a second run through Dead Rising, playing it New Game Plus, and using your input, you the viewers, to tell me, oh, Phil, there was this psychopath you missed over here, you should go do that one. Or, oh, Phil, if you go this way now because you're faster, you could save all these survivors and go this way and that way. You know, all the stuff that I basically missed in the first run, I would like to maybe do. And that would be pretty cool, in my opinion. Depending on, you know, how well it goes and how many people are going to, you know, actually help and not troll or whatever. Because, obviously, I don't know what I missed the first time that I played. I just kind of played it cold. And now, obviously, I'll have all the abilities and everything from my first run-through, which will allow me to get through the game, you know, more efficiently and quickly, but it'll also allow me to tackle the stuff that I missed the first time around. So, we gotta see. You know, I'm curious what people will be interested in. I'm thinking I'm gonna do another Twitter poll, probably. And, you know, again, put the power in the hands of the viewers, and see what the viewers have to say, what they would like to see. Do you want to see something new like Forza? Or do you want to see a second run? I don't know. I honestly don't know what people are going to be looking for. So I'm very curious to see what ends up kind of, you know, winning the polls this week. I guess we'll find out, right? So there you have it. That's kind of what I have in mind coming up. And then a very early October, there's actually a few retro things coming out. Atari Flashbacks 1 and 2, where it's actually two collections of classic Atari games remastered for modern consoles. And I might play some of those because I actually love Atari games. I grew up, Atari was my first home console. So that might be pretty cool. So we'll see. Alright, folks. So anyway, that's kind of what you can expect. FYI. I'll hash this out better tomorrow in the week in preview, but I wanted to let you know since it is kind of confusing. A lot of people are like, well, Phil doesn't have a definitive schedule coming up. What could be coming up? That's kind of the stuff that you can expect. Alright? Alright, so that's the deal. I'm about to start with Banjo Kazooie HD. 3 fun hours of gameplay. However, let's quickly just do a couple plugs. I'm not going to go long, obviously, because I'm already late on the stream. So I'm going to do the 2 necessary plugs. The first plug, Patreon. Duh. Patreon.com/DarksidePhil. Your pledges contribute. They allow me to keep doing this as a job. They let me, you know, continue on with stuff that maybe normally I wouldn't. For example, a game like Banjo. You know, normally people would just say, play the new release, play the new release, play the new release. But instead, I get to do something cool and retro like this because of patron support. It's awesome, right? But it also allows special events to happen. FYI, this week, if you're not aware, this month, the goal for Patreon is a Halloween marathon. You know, last month it was Banjo Kazooie, which we're doing right now. This month, it's a horror marathon. And I hope that we do it. I've actually been scoping out local costume stores and or Halloween stores that are popping up in this area so that I can get an idea for a couple Halloween costumes. And I actually have an idea of a couple different ones. Okay? And, sorry, someone in the stream chat is just fucking annoying the shit out of me. So there you go. Anyway, Yeah. The goal for this month is a Halloween marathon. I've been scoping out costumes at different stores around the area to try to prepare. But we do have to actually hit the goal in order to do this marathon. Now, the good news is I've had some good pledges coming up recently. And right now, we have, I believe it's only around $75 left. $75 left in order to hit the monthly goal and do a horror marathon. It's going to be great, right? So, I hope we can do it. Please, there's only 6 days left in the month. So don't forget, especially those of you who maybe, you've been waiting or for whatever reason, lingering before you pledge. You got to pledge within the next 6 days by the end of September. And it would really suck if we're like right behind the goal and then we don't hit it. You know what I mean? So please consider pledging if you haven't yet. Keep in mind, it's not just about the goal. You also get personal perks and as rewards for your pledges. Okay, so even if we don't hit the goal, you get some cool stuff. If you pledge $5 or more, you'll actually be nominating and voting on which horror games I'll be playing in this marathon. It'll be about 3 to 4 different games that I'll be playing. So I think that'll be a lot of fun. So please consider pledging if you haven't. And, yeah, that's all I really have to say about Patreon. And then the last plug is my girlfriend's business, The Black Current. She's currently having a sale. Right now, you see there's her shop, etsy.com/shop/The Black Current. She sells handmade glycerin soaps and wax tart melts. And right now, if you use the discount code FALLSALE20, that's FALLSALE20, you could save 20% on any order of $10 or more. And, quite honestly, some people have a very valid criticism when it comes to international stuff. Because I know a lot of our viewers are not in the United States. I know that. A lot of the people who watch my stuff and Leanna's stuff, you're not necessarily, American. But you want to check out something like this. The shipping can be pricey. It sucks because, we're actually limited by United States regulations shipping internationally. There's a lot of tariffs and shit that you have to pay that ends up making it more expensive. But if you take advantage of this sale, right, 20% off an order of $10 or more, FALLSALE20, the code, you basically completely negate the shipping cost. So there you have it. Please consider pledging to my Patreon if you haven't, and please consider checking out Leanna's soap and wax tarts at The Black Current, okay? Fair enough? All right. That's it. Thanks for being patient. Like I said, I knew I was going to be late because of the stupid Xbox One bullshit. But now, it's time to begin. All right, thanks everyone. Let's start.